Hey there guys, Devlon of TBI here, coming at you with the deck profile, and this is going to be on my WCQ deck that I brought to WCQ in White Plains. The reason why I haven't done it earlier is only because I've been busy with work and stuff, plus I was still a little salty from what happened and how I got knocked out. Like, the deck just didn't draw good against some matchups that I should have won, but yeah, it's whatever. And it's my lack of sideboarding too, so I also blame myself on this. So yeah, without further ado, here's the deck that I brought to WCQ. Darkness Dragon World. Yes, I did it again, Darkness Dragon World. Actually, last time I did bring Death, but this time I did not bring Death. I brought my Purgatory deck. Basically, I just decided Purgatory Knight's got new support in the BTO2, so I decided to bring them out and see what I can do with them. So yeah, here they are, Purgatory Knights. So this is the Buddy Demios, this is the flag. Let's get into it. Alright, starting off with the size 0 line, we got 4 copies of Knuckle Duster Dragon. He is my preferred size 0 in Purgatory Knights because crossbow, we have so much gauge excel now that crossbow's not really needed, so I use Knuckle Duster for that damage output. Of course, he can only be called if I have another Purgatory Knight card on the field. That can include item and set spell, but they don't have any items or set spell, and Purgatory Blade does not count, so please don't count that. So yeah, 2/2/1, solid stats, basically. So, pretty nice. And yeah, I do have one foil. Now we're getting into the size 1s, and why not start off with one of the newest size 1s that just came out for Purgatory Knights. Purgatory Knights, Pain Dagger Dragon. Basically, he's a 4/2/1 size, 4/2/1 for stats, which is pretty solid. Of course, he is a size 1, and when he has the ability, when he's destroyed by the effect of a monster, I put the top card of my deck into the gauge, so he's gauge excelled. So he's basically what Luna C1 should have been, but took a while to get this. So yes, gauge excel for even more gauge excel for Purgatory Knights. So just 2 of them because there's so much gauge excel in this deck, it's not even funny. And you'll see when I get to the later cards. Next up, we got 3 copies of Evil Greed. He's the draw power of the deck. When he's destroyed during the attack phase by the effect of a monster, draw a card. So pretty nice. 3/1/3 for stats. So of course he has 1 crit. For an aggressive deck, that's disgusting, but he does make up for that with his ability and the fact that he's a Purgatory Knight monster. So yeah, really solid card. 3k power, can just hit things. So yeah, really nice. The last of the size 1s we have is Purgatory Knights, Angry Hand Dragon, and does this thing focus? I can't even tell if this camera even focuses. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that go. Actually, there we go. So he's a 3/2/2, and he has the ability when he's destroyed by the effect of a monster, I can pay a gauge to destroy an item on my opponent's field. Mind you, this says I may, so it's just like as multi, I get the choice of doing it. I don't have to pay the gauge to do it, so I just declare it. My opponent does something to respond. They respond. I don't have to pay the gauge. Yay! Alright, starting my size 2 lineup, we have a 1 of. Yes, I reduced this guy to 1 because I wanted to increase another guy in the deck. This is my 1 of Purgatory Knights Viking Axe. I kept him in the deck because he was a size 2, and size 2s are really important in this deck, and you'll see why later on. But he does have a really pretty good pressure effect, so I like to. He does apply pressure. He's a 6/3/1. Call cost, pay 1 gauge, and he has the ability weapon on my field get critical +1, which is really good for pressure. So he can and really good for OTK boards with him and Gyram Lance. So yeah, and you'll see. And yeah, so you have him, Gyram Lance, and Knuckle Duster with my preferred weapon, which you'll see later on. Just go 3, 3, 2, 4. That's 12 damage, I believe. 4, 3. Yeah, that's 12 crit. That should be 12 crit altogether. So yeah. So yeah, pretty solid card. Next up, we got 2 copies of my Impact Monster that I prefer to play. Well, of course you gotta play this in Purgatory Knights, the only Purgatory Knight Impact Monster. So we have Purgatory Knight's leader, Demios Chaos Execution. 824 for stats, pretty nice. Can't be hit by crossbow, which is also nice. Call cost is pay to gauge and return an originally sized to a greater Purgatory Knight monster from my field into my hand. He has 2 abilities. The first effect is when he attacks and destroys an opponent's monster, stand him up. So basically rescue drum. And the second effect is basically Demios, which is counteract on my turn. I can destroy another Purgatory Knight monster if I do stand him up. So yeah, 2 copies of him, pretty solid. Just 2 copies because he's only best against wall decks mostly, and if you face those aggro decks, it's not gonna increase your attack or damage out, but it'll increase about like 2 crit, and that's about it. But yeah, he doesn't really do a lot of damage after the 6 attack board and whatnot. So yeah. But he's mostly here for the wall decks, which I did not get to face. Did I get to face one? Unless you want to count Ozzy. But I didn't face that many wall decks. Next we have 3 copies of Gyram Lance, 622. If my buddy monster is a Purgatory Knight monster, reduce size by 1, of course. Demios. His effect is during my turn, get destroying the Purgatory Knight monster in my field. If I do, he gets critical +1. So, like I said, the combo with him, Knuckle Duster, Viking Axe, and my preferred weapon in the deck. Really, really nice. Pretty solid. So, yeah. Next up, we have 3 copies of Purgatory Knight's leader, Demios Sword Inferno. Very powerful card. 725. Call cost, pay to gauge, and put him on top of a originally sized 2 or greater monster with Purgatory Knight in its card name. So Gyram Lance. So basically Gyram Lance. The reason why it's worded that way is Gyram Lance. So yeah. Him and Chaos Execution are worded originally for Gyram Lance. Mostly. And another card in the deck. So yes. Counteract. During my turn, I can destroy a monster with Purgatory Knight's in his card name. So not another, but a. So he can target himself. But he does have Soul Guard. So you just use Soul Guard, stand him right back up. If I do, stand him up and destroy size 2 or less monster on my opponent's field. I'm just gonna put out a rant real quick. So Drone can say any monster in general, but this nigga has to say size 2 or less. That's not right. That's not right. But then again, he does keep standing up and attacking and stuff. So I guess that's why they limited him to size 2 or less. But yeah. So 3 of him. You don't want to play 4 because if you open him up with no size 2 or higher Purgatory Knight monsters, he's pretty much dead in hand. 4 copies of the Buddy, of course, 623. During my turn, destroy another Purgatory Knight monster in my field and stand him up. So yeah, pretty basic, but still really good because free to call 623. So yeah, that's about it. I know, pretty normal, right? Alright, now it's time to reveal one of the best cards to come up for Purgatory Knights in DBTO2. Purgatory Knights Death Sickle Calvary. So Death Sickle finally joined DDW and he is here as a size 3. Pay 2 gauge and 1 life to call him. If I have an originally sized 2 monster with Purgatory Knights in its card name on my field, his size is reduced by 2, so he becomes size 1, which is another reason why Inferno and Chaos Execution is worded originally when you use their call cost, because they can use it for him. He has natural double attack, which is awesome. 924 for stats, so crossbow again, can't hit him. And he has the ability when he's destroyed in general, so even if I use, like, let's say Scapegoat or Devil Stigma or whatever way of destroying him, he still gets the effect procced. When he's destroyed in any way, shape, or form, I can put up to 1 size 2 or less Purgatory Knight monster from my deck to my hand. That is amazing. So not only can you and he also increases the damage output of the deck. So not only does he become a size 1, so let's say I have a Demios on the side, I just play him out and Knuckle Duster to the left or right, depending on where the Demios is. 2, 2, 2, 2, kill, 2, kill, 2, weapon. that is high damage output. That's about, let's see, 15 crit at most, 15 crit max, 16 crit max. Now I'm gonna say 14 to 15 max, which is actually amazing. So yeah, that is awesome. So yeah, 3 of him, very amazing card. I love him. He was useful all tournament, and yeah, pretty good. Alright, so we have 2 copies of Crushed Out Body and Sustained Mind. Starting off the spell lineup, this is the set spell for perks with the Gauge Excel. Whenever a Purgatory monster is destroyed by an effect, gain a gauge. And when my life becomes 0, I mill the top card of my deck. If it's a spell, I get rid of it. I live at 2. If not, I'm dead for good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up, we got 2 copies of Abyss Symphony. Really amazing card. I can only cast it if I have 6 life or less, and pay gauge, draw 2 cards. So yeah, more draw power for the deck. 2 copies of Scapegoat. Really nice card. Basically, cast goes to destroy a monster in my field. Next time I'll be dealt damage, it's reduced to 0, and I gain 1 life. Basically in here for Sun Dragons mostly, and mostly more ways of gaining life and not getting hit a lot by high crit damage and stuff like that. Really good combo with Cavalry, and really amazing card. Alright, Purgatory Knights finally got an amazing card. We Are Immortal. So counter, choose a Purgatory Knight monster in your field. For this turn, when the next time that card will be destroyed, bounce it back to your hand and gain a gauge. Dragobond for Purgs. Except they get bounced to the hand, and basically Dragonic Glue for Purgs. Dragonic Glue, let's say that. That's a better term, people. And yes, they're all foil. So yes, I had a chance to get them all foil. I took the chance and got them foil. It was cheap too, so why not? This card is amazing. It just came out for Purgs. Really amazing card. So yeah, this card's been putting on work that day, so very nice. 3 Death Grip, pretty basic of course. Big age, short size, soulless monster in the field. So yeah. 4 copies of Purgatory Knights Forever. Pay gauge, take a damage. Put up to 2 monsters with Purgatory Knights and a card from my drop to my hand. Of course. So if you don't know what this card, don't know what this card is, then you must be under a rock, because this is a really old card. It's still one of the best Purgatory Knight cards in the deck. Next up, we got 4 copies of Black Dragon Shield. Pretty basic. Reduce damage to 0, gain a life if I don't have a monster in the center. Next, we got 4 copies of my preferred item. This is my preferred item I've been talking about the whole profile, which is Steel Fist Black Knuckle. Pay gauge and a life. 3 for stats. When this card deals damage to my opponent, I gain a gauge, and counteract. I pay gauge. If I do for this turn, this card gets power +2. Very amazing card. Did its good deeds on that day, and was able to do a lot of damage output and stuff like that. Really nice. This card's really good, and I was able to do good with it. So this is the last card I'm gonna show. Actually, this is the full deck right here. Well, the full main deck. I'm gonna make this video into 2 parts. This is gonna be the first part, which is the main deck. The second part is gonna be sideboard and tournament report. So you'll know what happened. The reason why I'm doing this is because this phone, this is a new phone, and right now I put a lot into storage into this phone. So like for videos, it's limited. So yeah. So this is Devlon of TBI going out. See you later for part 2. Later, guys.